Okay, so now that you have understood about the risks, the rewards, the sacrifice necessary that you have to make, and you have understood that the author, Dan Pena, has credibility and has had a lot of business experience, he starts talking about the business model, about buying businesses. And he says that before you enter into the business world, you have to create a proper perception of yourself in the business world. And he said that perception equals reality. You see, people don't know who we really are. People only engage with our perceptions in their own mind. The way we look, the way we stand, the way we speak, and all of this shapes the way people see you. And with every single thing that you do, you're making a statement. You are sending out a message. And it's very important that you send out the right message, because most people are judging you not based on what you are saying, but based on what they are seeing. And if what they see is a guy or a girl just in a casual t-shirt, trying to do a business meeting in Starbucks, they're not going to take you very seriously. And if they see you that you are a one-man show, a one-man army, trying to do all the things by yourself, then again, they're not going to take you seriously. And he actually refers to this quote, and he did it either in the seminar or in the book. He says, Niccolo Machiavelli, there is a famous quote by him that the true strength or the true power of an emperor is measured by the kind of people he's associated or he's surrounded with. If you want to know the true power of an emperor, look at the people around him. And this is where he talks about not to associate with people who are low performance people. And by low performance, I think from his definition would be someone who has not been involved in hundreds of millions of dollars in deals and billions of dollars in deals. So that should, in most cases, include all the friends and family. So if you are in business and even in any of your social media profiles or, like during the business meeting or wherever, people see you with some friends that frankly are not that inspiring, well, people are superficial and they will judge you. And they will judge your power, the level of power that you have, and the level of capability that you have. So you are always judged by the people that you associate with and how you look. And so this is why perception is very important in business. And he gives examples how governments, when you go to a new city and wherever there is Olympics happening, they will have, they will get the roads clean, they will get everything constructed just outside the airport. Everything is going to look very modern. And what they're really doing is they're creating an impression on people who are coming to this country. And seeing all of this, their minds and opinions are shaped by how they relate to that country. And this also happens in companies. You have the logos, you have, big, gigantic corporate buildings, and there is a very luxurious lobby, and there is a beautiful assistant. She's dressed very professionally. She's wearing suits, which are expensive. She has a bag that's expensive, and she's talking in a very nice way. And then there is a great security system, and you go into the lift, you go on the 15th floor, they invite you on the conference room. The conference room has an oak table, all glass walls, stunning views. The managing partner of that firm comes in a pinstripe suits, with a nice looking hair and a 3-piece suit. All of this creates an impression. And it's very important that when you enter into the business world, you have this kind of perception. and you'll have more and more leverage into the conversation. So his recommendation is that every single business meeting, you got to be dressed up in a 3-piece suit, and you got to buy suits that you cannot afford. So you got to look the sharpest in the room. It doesn't matter who it is. You will be surprised as to how many powerful people actually don't have that expensive suit. Maybe they don't even know, a lot of them, they may not even be aware of too many brands. They just wear a normal suit. But if you really make that extra effort to spend more, and it's much better to have 2 suits which are extremely premium than 5-6 suits which are average. So buy suits that you cannot afford. And he talks about spending more money, expanding your comfort zone by actually increasing your expenses so that you really feel the pressure of creating wealth. And he says that your identity will start to change. And by the way other people treat you, you will start to treat yourself differently, and you will start to communicate differently, and everything about you will change. So I have a personal story about this. I was, in Dubai. I was living 5 years in Dubai, and most of those years I was dressed very casually. So I would go to this Fairmont hotel, and I would have a certain kind of experience. Actually, one time I was just wearing some casual pajamas, and I was denied an entry in a lounge. And this is a long time ago in 2016. And then one day after attending the Castle seminar and reading the book and, getting trained by Dan Pena, I went and bought myself some really expensive suits, a couple of $1,000s. The one I'm wearing right now. And it was really a suit that I could not afford at that time. And I just wore that suit, and I go to the hotel that I usually go, the Fairmont Hotel, and I enter into that hotel, and right from the security guy who's on the gate, he, gives me a salute. He opens the door for me. The moment I sit down, immediately the waiter comes and, starts engaging with me, and everybody is seeing me in a completely different way. And even the guests who were walking outside were looking at me, and I saw what's happening, and I had completely forgotten I was wearing a suit, because I would go to this place and I would get a very different response. Not that many people were looking at me, but now suddenly people were taking me seriously. And even when I met my chairman, who is a CEO of a $3.5 billion company, the first thing that he saw is how I was dressed. And the moment I entered the room, he was sitting at the head of the conference table, and he looked at me, and he was like, he made an eye contact with me. Who is this guy? Because nobody was dressed up in a 3-piece suit. Nobody had the pocket square. Nobody had a nice tie. And people just had come casually. And very ironically, this meeting, this conference was taking place in Burj Al Arab, which is a 7-star hotel. Even there, people were not dressed fully professionally. And that was surprising. So when you dress up in a 3-piece suit, you always have an advantage. And that is one level of perception. There are many layers of perception. So the other aspect of the perception is the people you associate with. So whenever you are entering into the business world, you want to make a statement, not just with the way you look, but you have to make a statement with the people that you have around, your business partners. So he said, if you go to a bank by yourself, most likely you're not going to get money to finance your business acquisitions, because you may not have all the experience that is required. And, you're not giving really a very serious impression to the banks or anybody for that matter. You're just positioning yourself as a one-man show. So it's very important that when you're executing something like this, something of this nature, buying multi-million dollar businesses, you have a team of advisors. And if you go with this team of advisors, and if you have them in your company profile, people just treat you differently. Suddenly all the doors are open and people will do business meetings with you and many opportunities will come out just because you're giving that powerful image, that powerful perception. So he talks about this concept in the book, which is known as building your dream team. Building your dream team. And he says that you will need names of executives, names of individuals that you don't have to explain about. You want high profile names on your team. You need people who are, the top guys from finance, top guys from whichever industry that you're going into, CEOs of large companies in the industry that you're getting into, and, top lawyers who worked in international law firms for 25, 30 years, and, guys who have raised a lot of money and actually created successful companies and have a very good relationships in the market. So that's a preliminary step before you look for any financing, before you look for any businesses to buy. You have to have that piece in place, because without that piece, nobody is going to take you seriously. And more importantly, you will not have all the necessary experience that you need to build a company of this nature and of this size. These large companies are not one-man shows. So he gives strategies of how to locate these individuals, how to interview these individuals, how to do presentation for these individuals, and how to get sell these individuals on your dream and on your business idea of buying businesses and creating a large company. You have to create a business plan, a presentation, and meet them, and you can actually you can close them to be your partners in 10 to 15 minutes. Now you might ask, why will these people be part of your company? And this is a skepticism that many people have, but they do become part of your company. And how do you pay them? You just give shares in your company, and they will be basically shareholders in the company, your partners. When you have someone as an employee, you have to pay them. When you have someone as a partner, shareholder, you don't have to pay them. You can pay them once the company gets successful and they understand that. So if you do all these steps and you present them well, you will have, what Dan Pena calls it, the dream team. So just to give a little bit background, I implemented this strategy that I learned, and I have, as a chairman on my company board, a CEO of a $3.5 billion telecom company in UAE. It was the second largest telecom company in UAE. And the CEO of that is on my company as chairman and a shareholder. I have one individual who was in one of the big four accounting firms for over 25, 30 years as my business partner. And I have one from finance, corporate finance background. This person specialized in IPOs. He has done 7 IPOs. He has raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's on the board of my company. And I also have another individual from the accounting background from one of the top accounting firms in the world, who also has 30 years of experience on my company. Then I have got 2 healthcare CEOs on my company and 2 top lawyers in the country. So when I walk in with these names on my company profile, people take me seriously. high-profile bankers want to take meetings with me. Owners of multi-million-dollar businesses want to do meetings with me, and I am welcome everywhere. So this is the reason why you build dream team. It's part of your perception. And you want people who are outside of your comfort zone. You want people who are, antithesis of you, the opposite of you. You want powerful individuals who have had experience of doing large transactions, and they've been part of large companies. And if you do this step successfully, then you would have, and you dress up in 3-piece suits and you're meeting at venues which are high end. This is another factor. You need to join clubs. He says you need to join clubs, country clubs that you cannot afford, golf clubs that you cannot afford. And you got to stretch yourself and get into these venues. And you have to have meetings at these venues, so that when you invite a banker, a lawyer, or someone reputable and someone you'd want to do business with, you're creating a very powerful impression with the way you dress, with the way you communicate. And for communication, he recommends Toastmasters, which is an organization that helps you improve your communication skills. So the way you look, the way you speak, what venue you are in, and your dream team. If you do this step properly, you will have very successful meetings, and opportunities will start to open up. Doors will open up that you didn't think would open up for you. And there will really be no limits to what you can accomplish. And another thing, another quote that my mentor, Dan Pena, says is, act like you have no limits to your abilities. And really, when you put this team together, you will feel extremely powerful, and you will see that every door that you open up, it gets open because of you have these powerful names and you create a great impression. And this is the reason how I'm able to get exposure to transactions of, that goes into multi-million dollars. One single transaction that goes into such big amounts. It's extremely difficult to even get a meeting with these people. And I'm able to get exposure. And it's because of this building perception strategy. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.